Hi, this is Brant Bjork from VISTA Chino, and you're watching Stormbringer TV.
Austria, it's damn hot outside, and what could fit better than a stoner desert rock concert? VISTA CHINO is in town, formerly known as Chaos Lives. The third show now on the European tour, as far as I know. How was it so far? The tour lasts until August the 10th. What can especially the Austrian fans expect today? I hope some new songs from the new album Peace, right?
Yes, of course. We're doing a Caius Classics, of course, but we also have incorporated 4 new VC songs in the set, so we're really excited about that.
You have Mike from the incredible Corrosion of Conformity as your bass player now on tour. So how's Mike doing, and how's the situation with Nick? As far as I know, he played some songs on the new album, but not all. Can you give us any updates?
Yeah, Nick played on the majority of the record. I played on a couple tracks. Mike Dean played on a track, and right now, I mean, we feel really good playing with Mike. We've been playing with him for a while now, and he's a great guy, and he's an amazing bass player. He's always one of my favorite bass players. But you know, Mike, as you said, Mike has Corrosion of Conformity, and that's a fantastic band, of course, and we don't want to get in the way of that great band. So, you know, as long as schedules are jiving, we'll just kind of move forward. But we do know that at some point, we assume that Mike will have to return rightfully back to Corrosion of Conformity, and at that point, I mean, it's probably likely that Nick will return to the band. So, you know, we'll just see. We'll just see how it works out.
I mentioned Peace, your upcoming album. How organically did it come together? Was it like the old days with you guys just jamming and things suddenly popped up, or was it any different? I mean, you guys are not any teenagers anymore. You became older. Did it also change the writing and the recording process?
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of things naturally change in 20 years. I mean, 20 years ago, you know, I would have been sitting down in a bedroom somewhere with Josh, and we would have just been like, you know, writing songs. Well, that's obviously not the case anymore. We're like different people doing different things, and we have families, and we live in different places in the world. But it was really exciting, and it was a real awesome artistic and creative challenge, and I developed a new writing style with a new writing partner, which is Bruno, and that was part of my inspiration and motivation to make a new record, because I always you know, wanted to get back to that place where I'm collaborating with someone, and Bruno and I we quickly put together an awesome writing partnership, and that's what you hear on the record, you know.
Your studios in Joshua Tree in California. Did you have any help for the whole process, or is it a 100% production from you?
No, I had a lot of help. Harper, Hug, and Trevor, whatever, are good friends of mine, and they were the engineers for the project. And Harper directly helped me build the studio. We built the studio as we were recording the record, so it was really exciting. There was a lot of it was a pretty challenging experience, but we were really inspired and really excited, and they did a tremendous job on the record. And I just, you know, musically and artistically produced and just oversaw the whole effort. But it was definitely a group effort, and everyone did great, you know. It was awesome.
I'm still unsure which song is now my personal favorite on the new album. On one hand, I have this 13-minute stoner rock monster called AC Dice, the Gambling Moose. On the other hand, I do love Sweet Remains with all his warmness. You can really smell the desert in this track. Do you have any favorite tracks on the album?
You know, I really don't. Honestly, I generally don't have favorites. I like all the songs as they are, and I love the way they just flow and sit together as a body of work. I think I do, however, think you know, there's some moments in each song, maybe in particular As You Wish, where I feel like there's just a whole incredible freshness that kind of represents the new chemistry and the new direction, and it's exciting. I enjoy listening to it. Yeah.
What made you decide to sign with our Austrian buddies from Napalm Records? As far as I know, the contract was already made during the Chaos Lives era. Is this right?
Yeah. Napalm approached me as a solo artist years back, and I was a little skeptical, to be honest, because I knew it was primarily a metal label. But they were very honest in saying they wanted to kind of break into the more rock market. Of course, I was flattered that they were interested in working with me. I signed a deal with them, and then I got busy with John and Nick doing Caius Lives. And interestingly enough, that contract I signed with them as a solo artist kind of evolved into a deal for Caius Lives. And then I was able to get out of my deal as a solo artist with Napalm. And we had a beautiful deal with Caius Lives, which was fantastic. And then because of the lawsuit, we had to start from scratch. And of course, that was very frustrating. But we're happy now. We have our deal with Napalm with VISTA CHINO, and we're excited. You know, we have high hopes, and we think the record's going to do well, and we anticipate a lot of good stuff.
You mentioned the lawsuit. We all know the story. Do you think that the change of the band's name to VISTA CHINO would have happened if there had not been this mentioned lawsuit?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. John and I and Nick as well, we weren't necessarily interested in band names. We're interested in playing music. When it came time to put the band back together, I mean, we just really didn't know what else to call it. I mean, to us it's Caius, and I, to be honest, wasn't really even in favor of calling it Caius Lives. I thought we should just be simply called Caius. But in the end, I thought Caius Lives had a cool ring to it, and it had a meaning to it, and I thought it was all right. So I went for it. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think we would have thought about it much. It might have happened. It might not have. I think it's just hard to say. But obviously, because of the circumstances that occurred, we didn't have a choice, really. So we changed it.
I mean, you guys are aware. Are you aware that you wrote with Caius music history? I mean, you were the inventors of what is now called stoner rock. And do you feel that Caius got more popular after you split it up in 1995?
Oh, no question. No question. I mean, a lot of people, not very many people were there back in the beginning. And, it's interesting that the fact is that I always believed in Caius and always thought we were an amazing band, but not everybody thought we were a magical, amazing band. As time went on, we were very lucky to have did some tours and put out some good records that stood the test of time. And I think that's what allowed people, usually the younger generations, to really discover the band, discover the music, and then kind of embrace it on a level where it kind of developed into this kind of legendary thing. And that's what John and I were responding to. I've been traveling for years as a solo artist and with other bands, and people have continuously asked me about Caius, if it would ever get back together and why did it stop. And it was clear after 15, 20 years that we finally had a fan base. And I thought, John and I and Nick as well, we thought it's almost a certain level of responsibility to actually give the music to the people now, because we now have a fan base. And so that's what we did, and it was awesome. It was fantastic. It feels great to finally have people who appreciate the music.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to the gig, and you will return to Europe in the autumn.
Yeah.
And hopefully with a chart-breaking album then.
Yeah, well, we'll just, the record will do what it's going to do, and we'll just keep rocking, man.
That's amazing.
All right.